The night soul began whispering about them again was strangely beautiful. Cheongdam-dong shimmered under neon lights reflected on rain-slicked streets, while the city's nightlife hummed with a low pulse of curiosity. Fans scrolling through their feeds sensed that something was brewing, something about Jung Hae and Young So-min, and the quiet storm surrounding their relationship. Rumors had been circulating for weeks, fueled by overly analytical fan edits, fandom breakdowns, and speculative blogs that magnified every moment So-min appeared alongside another male actor. It was the kind of frenzy that only Korean entertainment could ignite, dramatic, all-consuming, and driven by millions of eyes searching for meaning in the smallest of smiles. It started innocently enough. A dispatch-style photo series caught So-min leaving a studio in Paju after shooting with a striking younger co-star. Another day, she was spotted filming in Yeongjeongdo with an actor known for his heart-fluttering visuals. Soon, the narrative took shape online. So-min always surrounded by handsome male actors. Han must be having a hard time. Is their relationship still strong? Comment sections exploded. Some fans defended her fiercely, others speculated that Han, despite his calm nature, could be quietly struggling. Threads multiplied. TikTok creators posted analysis clips, and Weibo users compiled timelines as if investigating a drama unfolding in real time. Meanwhile, Han himself had been busy filming in Yeouido, juggling back-to-back schedules with little time for rest, let alone a chance to meet So-min. Their separate filming locations, Paju for her, Yeouido for him, unintentionally fueled the narrative that the couple was drifting apart. Because both actors were known for their gentle, low-profile personalities, or felt the need to publicly counter the rumors. Silences, however, are often misread in Korea's entertainment ecosystem. The quieter they remained, the louder the noise grew. The pressure came to a head during a promotional appearance for Han's latest drama at JTBC Studio in Sangam-dong. With cameras flashing and reporters eager for headlines, one journalist asked the question that had been burning across online forums: how do you maintain a relationship when Young So-min is surrounded by so many charming male actors? For the first time that day, Han's expression faltered. It wasn't anger. It wasn't annoyance. It was something softer, deeper, a brief flash of vulnerability from someone who had always guarded his private life with unwavering discipline. His answer was polite, but it was clear that the question lingered with him long after the press event ended. Later that evening, at a quiet cafe called Anthracite Coffee Roasters in Hanam, a close acquaintance spotted him sitting alone near the back corner, wearing a cap pulled low. The friend later shared. He looked thoughtful, not sad, but you could tell he was carrying weight. Another industry source at FNC added, is someone who loves deeply but quietly. These rumors, they affected him more than people think. The turning point in the narrative came a few days later. On a humid evening in Sinsadong, Han and So-min met at a small Japanese restaurant tucked between narrow alleys decorated with lanterns. The place was quiet, known only to locals, a sanctuary for celebrities hoping to disappear from public eyes. According to a diner seated 2 tables away, the atmosphere between them wasn't tense or dramatic. Instead, it was filled with a calm, tender seriousness. They leaned slightly toward each other as they spoke. So-min's voice was soft but steady, and one phrase carried clearly through the space: let's stay strong. Let's stay us. There was no argument, no strained silence. Just 2 people reaffirming their place in each other's lives amidst the noise. The next morning, something changed in Jung Hae. Perhaps it was the conversation with So-min. Perhaps he had simply grown tired of the constant speculation. Either way, when he arrived at the headquarters of FNC Entertainment in Cheongdam, he made an unexpected request. He wanted to speak, not through a written statement composed by the PR team, through vague agency press releases, but through his own voice. A private interview was arranged discreetly, no large crews, no reporters crammed into a conference room. Just one journalist he trusted, a lit studio, and a single camera framing his earnest expression. When the interview began, the tension that had been building over weeks seemed to settle. Han sat with his usual posture, gentle, composed, almost boyishly sincere, but his eyes held a quiet determination. The first few questions were simple. The real moment came when the interviewer cautiously approached the subject everyone was waiting for. Many people are curious, she began. You maintain your relationship with Jung So-min when she is constantly working with Korea's most charming male actors. For a second, Han almost smiled. It wasn't mocking or dismissive, more like the smile of someone ready to address something that has been sitting heavily on his heart. He chose his words carefully but with honesty that resonated deeper than any scripted line. "Love," he said quietly. "Thing you protect quietly. And I'm doing that every day, in my own way." It was the kind of answer that seemed simple on the surface but carried layers beneath it. His tone was not defensive. He wasn't claiming control or possessiveness. Instead, he spoke with a softness that conveyed confidence in himself, in So-min, and in the bond they had built away from the cameras. The interview concluded. The journalist sensed there was more behind his calm demeanor. Something unspoken, perhaps a story he wished he could share. Or a reassurance he hoped the public would finally understand. When he stood to leave the studio, the weight on his shoulders seemed lighter. Speaking had given him room to breathe again. By the time the interview preview was released, social media erupted. Fans replayed his comments repeatedly, analyzing the gentle tremble in his voice, the subtle smile in his eyes. Headlines across Korea blazed with phrases like "Jung Hae breaks long silence" and "a quiet man's strong confession." The public was captivated not just by what he said but by how he said it, with sincerity, humility, and a depth of emotion that few actors dare to reveal so openly. The morning after the interview preview was released, Seoul awoke to a media landscape transformed. News banners at Jeodo's broadcasting centers looped Jung Hae's calm confession, while radio hosts debated whether his quiet sincerity might finally shift the tone of the conversation. The city's entertainment district buzzed with renewed curiosity, not the chaotic speculation of earlier weeks, but a more attentive, almost respectful interest. It was no longer a tabloid rumor, it had become a story of a man choosing honesty over silence. Inside the glass-walled lobby of the CJENM building near Gangnam Station, staff members whispered about the full interview scheduled for release later that day. The anticipation was intense. Even employees accustomed to daily celebrity headlines admitted they hadn't expected something this open, this vulnerable from Han, an actor known for protecting his private life with almost stoic discipline. As the clock neared noon, journalists, producers, and fans gathered around screens, waiting for his full statement like an unfolding drama. The complete interview aired. It didn't disappoint. Seated in a minimalist set framed by warm lighting, Jung Hae spoke more deeply than anyone anticipated. He described how trust had become the core of his relationship with Jung So-min. "I never think of the actors around her as competition," he said softly, the corners of his lips lifting into a gentle smile. "Actors work with many partners, it's part of our world. Theirs is what happens when the cameras stop." He explained the quiet rituals that anchored their connection even when schedules pulled them to opposite sides of the country. Sometimes, when he was filming late scenes in Busan, he would find a handwritten note tucked inside his coat, small, warm reminders from So-min that she was thinking of him. "Notes carried me through hard days," he admitted. "They reminded me that distance doesn't weaken us." A close friend later confirmed that the couple had a tradition they rarely spoke about, every night around 11 p.m. The other hand was in a hotel in Gwangali, or So-min was wrapping up a late shoot in Paju. Drink tea together over a video call. No grand declarations. No performative affections, just two people maintaining a quiet thread of connection that kept them grounded amid the noise of the industry. The interviewer then addressed a question lingering in the minds of many: did Hae ever feel overshadowed by the sheer number of charming male actors constantly surrounding So-min? In response, Hae leaned back, letting out a soft laugh that surprised even himself. "There are many handsome, talented actors in Korea," he began. "But So-min doesn't fall for visuals. She falls for sincerity. And I know who I am with her." It wasn't arrogance. It wasn't bravado. It was confidence built from shared years, shared challenges, unwavering commitment to each other. His words carried a simplicity that was disarming, almost poetic. At the KBS New Wing building in Yeouido, their anchors dissected his interview later that afternoon. A commentator remarked, "This is what mature love looks like, quiet, steady, and unshaken by the spotlight." As the interview continued, Hae recounted a memory from a few months earlier while filming at Gwangali Beach. The cold wind had been relentless. Exhausted from consecutive night shoots, that evening, So-min sent him a short video of herself smiling softly into the camera. Along with it came a message, "Don't miss me too much. I'm yours." The words weren't meant for public consumption, but the emotion behind them shaped the tenderness with which Hae spoke during the interview. Of course, the media took these snippets and turned them into headlines of their own. Articles with titles like "The Love That Withstands Every Storm" and "So-min's Simple Message That Melted Hae's Heart" spread across Naver top searches. Yet surprisingly, none of these interpretations felt exploitative. For once, the press seemed to honor the heart of what he said, rather than twisting it into something sensational. Even Dispatch, known for its sharp eye and fearless exposure of celebrity secrets, remained unusually silent. Insiders suggested that even they understood this was a relationship built not on spectacle but on sincerity, something worth respecting rather than probing. In his final remarks, filmed at a quiet lounge near Apgujeong Rodeo, Jung Hae offered a closing statement that instantly went viral. The soft and steady voice, he said, "I don't keep her beside me by force. She stays because we choose each other, every day." The simplicity of the line stunned fans and journalists alike. It was an antidote to the sensationalism that had shadowed them in recent months, a reminder that love doesn't need dramatic gestures or loud declarations to endure. Evening, eyewitnesses spotted the couple leaving a small fusion restaurant in Itaewon. There were no cameras, no entourage. The two of them walking side by side, sharing quiet laughter as they disappeared into the soft glow of streetlights. They didn't hold hands for the public to see, nor did they perform affection for anyone watching. Everyone who saw them agreed on one thing: their silence spoke louder than any spoken statement. By the time Seoul settled into night, the noise around their relationship had softened into something gentler: admiration, warmth, and even a sense of pride from fans who had followed their journey. Jung Hae's words hadn't just silenced the rumors, they had reshaped the entire narrative. What remained was a portrait of love unbothered by competition, unshaken by the presence of Korea's most charming actors, quietly strengthened by the daily choice to stay together. And in that quiet, the city finally felt at peace with their truth.